Moving on to communication that cuts through. I absolutely love this quote. 1800s author, 1860, I think, George Bernard Shaw. It's beautiful, isn't it? The problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And are we in the communication game? Is our role to be communicating with people all the time? So I figured this would be handy if I share with you 5 simple strategies that could certainly up the level on your communication. Number 1, specific, not vague. Now, what I mean by this is, you know, when you might be talking to a colleague, or you might be talking to a client, or you might be talking to a friend or loved one, and you just have a vague kind of indicator of when you want something to be completed by. Oh yeah, get that back to me tomorrow. You must get unbelievably specific around the standards that you want with that, the timeframes you want. You've got to take it to a whole new level. There is so much vagueness happening with communication, so much you're holding back. Is it any wonder that people don't deliver? And the theme of this conference, it's so beautiful. It's deliver, delight, and dominate. So we need to get super specific so that's possible. How do you know? What will delight somebody? I saw this amazing documentary about a restaurant in New York called 11 Madison Park. I don't know if anybody's been there. Amazing. What's it like, by the way? Amazing. Couple of people in the room. Okay. They won the best restaurant in the world, the #1 restaurant in the world in 2017. They decided the day after they won that award to shut the doors. Go figure. They wanted to create an even better level of experience, so they did this huge renovation. What I love about it, talking about being specific, is they knew what everybody wanted. They knew the expectations were so high when everybody came to the restaurant. They would get so specific with every single person who had a role in that restaurant. Like the woman, like like a restaurant hostess at the front door. They told her exactly what angle the door had to be on, because most of their clients and customers would turn up wanting to get a photo on the way in with the logo. So the door had to be at a certain angle and she had to stand in an exact spot. Now talk about being specific. How likely is it that she's going to deliver on that? Very? Does anybody disagree? So the specifics around what you expect. Let's sharpen and dial that one up a little bit and see what happens. The value of feedback. Thankfully, we've already touched on this today with Bridie saying, don't expect to be perfect. My suggestion is this. Embrace feedback. It's not failure, it's not criticism. All it is telling you that, you know what, you're not quite there yet. So my suggestion is you ask the question of your clients, of your colleagues, what more can I be doing to make this experience better for you? Or how could I be improving my service to you? Imagine if you just added that one question. I used to do it at the end of my every week, my vendor meeting, my Monday evening meetings. I'd ask that question at the very end. Maybe I've just asked for a price adjustment, who knows? But the point is, I've asked that question. What that means is, if they tell me there's something more they want, something I could be doing better, what have I now got the chance to do? Deliver, delight. Hey, maybe even dominate, so think about that one. Get below the surface with your questioning. I spoke about conscious expectations and unconscious. How do we get those out? So my 3 favourite words in questioning is what, when, and how. And the what question, as I just gave the example, what could I be doing better for you? To get below the surface, follow it up. Bridie said that. Did you hear this morning? Follow it up with another question. Might start with a when or a how. Go a bit deeper. And here's the real gold. Be brave enough to go a 3rd level down and ask this simple question. And what else? Let me assure you, when you ask that question, what comes out of, whether it's your client, your principal, whatever comes out of their mouth, that is truly where the gold is. That's what will make the difference. Get below the surface. Timeframes rule. A bit like putting a start and finish time. If you're going to get back to a client, you're waiting on a buyer to return your call, the vendor's waiting, or you're going to follow up with the buyer, tell them when you're going to call them back. Give an actual time. Time frames are critical. Whether you have the information you need or not by then, you must put a time frame on everything. They need to know what to expect in terms of what that is. Imagine you say, no trouble, I'll speak to the vendor, I'll give you a call back, probably about 4:30. I'll check in. What can they now do? They can relax. They're not stressed. They know what to expect. And now again, what do? You know when you have to deliver. It's kind of making life simple and making it a lot easier to really delight and create amazing experiences. And the final strategy in this core element, number 2, is follow up and follow through. If you are going to level up your communication and truly break the barriers of this expectation gap, you must ensure that you deliver and follow through on exactly what you say.